You know who's a mirror reflection?
Who?
Lauren, of her daddy. She is as tenacious and as single-minded as he was.
And it's hard to do that alone
That's right.
in this day and age
In this day and age.
without sponsorship,
And
without significant.
Exactly. And see, that breaks my heart because
Why do you think there's no sponsorship today? Is it because of the, I'm going to say, because of the racism that is still rampant in the way that we don't get support in our communities?
that's true, but we don't have anybody out front for us. We don't have no Jimmy Booker.
Or you,
We don't have no.
the mouthpiece, the person who can.
And once again, see, I can remember the Japanese double dutch was made for Japanese because of their intrinsic cooperative structure and culture. Because
Team.
the individual is not primary in Japan. It's the family, okay? And that's why they do so well at it. That's why they do. When I was in Japan, I used to sit and watch the Japanese coaches sit down with a pen and paper and diagram the basketball players from the bases.
Yeah.
When they got in double dutch, they did the same thing. They did the same thing. That's why they're so fast.
Yeah.
The fastest, probably the fastest American double dutch team as
Hold
compared to
on. Hold on. The fastest American double dutch team.
as compared to the Japanese is Stan Brown's Pepper Steppers, because Stan, he watched them and understood what they were doing. Now you gotta know something. Stan Brown came to my first double dutch clinic in 1974, and he worked for.
He was young.
Yeah, he works for the New York City Department of Parks.
He was in his 20s or something.
As a
right?
recreation director, and he has been with double dutch ever since. He is the surrogate father to hundreds of children. You know what he was doing yesterday? He started a program called Mommy and Me. He was having his Mommy and Me tournament yesterday when I called to find out if he was coming. Stan Brown is an icon.
Yeah.
There are others. We used to have a gym teacher at Junior High School 43. Her name was Kate Griffin. Magnificent. Magnificent.
Why do you think the Fantastic Four, you know, they in the Pick Up Your Feet, they stand out? They
internalized all the principles. They internalized all the principles. All right, here's something, an aside. I can remember Gwen calling David and I to come to IS-10, and we would go whenever they called, you know, like to correct something or provide them with some info. And here's what they were talking about. One of the jumpers, her name was Twana Hardeman. She was getting all the play because Twana was fleet. And I can remember the kids sitting against the wall, and I'm going to tell you what they said. We tired of this starship. All right? Now, as brilliant as I am, that was like somebody rang a Liberty Bell. Bing!
say
Team.
more. Team.
Team. Okay? That's it. You know, like I said, David and I are cool, but those children taught us so much because we observed. And you see, that's the primary role of a police officer, to observe.
Okay, I'm gonna make an assertion. So around the 73 is when hip hop began to become big, and it's not about team, it's about individuals.
Mm-hmm.
It's about who's the star, who's shining. Do you think that might have had any impact on the culture of double dutch?
Only to the degree, got to remember, at that time, hip hop was cultural and clean. It was a voice of protest and dissatisfaction. It wasn't sleazy and nasty like it is now. So it was still close.
It was team, man.
It was still close, and it was inspirational, you know. And like Run DMC, those guys were great, you know. And look, you know who one of the foremost? Look at him. He's going to do the Grammys. LL Cool J. He supportive of double dutch in Queens and everything like that. And up there in the Bronx, what was it, Grandmaster
Grandmaster Flash.
No, Jam Master Jay.
Oh, Jam Master Jay.
Whatever that
when he
guy's
was,
name.
Yep, who's passed.
Those guys, they were community oriented, and they were culturally. When I look, we live in a sleazy world today, and I'm so sorry that it's coming off on our children. But they weren't like that then.
Yeah.
They weren't like that then. They had a voice of protest and uplifting.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say about the sport of double dutch, the legacy you've
Oh,
left?
I'll tell you what. Those girls in the Fantastic Four, they're Harlem and Lower East Side girls. They have all. We've got girls that became schools principals. Stan Brown's, his daughter is a police officer. Nikki has been with the Metropolitan Juris Geriatric for 1,000 years as an associate, and Robin was this and that and the other.
State Department.
And Dolores is she was
Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
She went to that high school, that first high
Down
school, and then wait a minute, what's the other one that's kicking butt? Now Kiva, Andrea Cherry. Kiva became a corrections officer, and now she is the commissioner of double dutch for the PAL, PSAL.
Wow.
Okay, double dutch is a structured sport in New York City High School, PSAL.
Yeah.
And Andrea Cherry is the commissioner, and she is a double dutch girl. So the wonder, it stayed with them. It stayed with them. Now remember, I can remember being out on the road with those girls, and I said, look up. What do you mean, Mike? Look up. And I said, look up. You can see stars, can't you? They don't used to that. They come from the city.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay?
To be out of the city.
They got a perspective on everything. I can remember being in St. Louis, talking to them about the arch, you know? And
that's what I'm writing about them. They were on the first rap tour to the UK and France. And
I was gone then, but they was in there.
In '82.
Now here's another thing. Remember, those quote-unquote ghetto children traveled around the world and around the country. Their horizons did like that.
And we don't have that today.
That's right. They were not boxed in. All right? Everything our children learn today come on a little 5-inch screen. No, they saw the real thing. The real thing. And they're my babies, my double dutch daughters.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. You just